If you're a man who has a child with a woman and you're not married and have never been married, this post is for you. Everybody else, keep scrolling. Or you can stay. Keep your little comments to yourself. This is for the men. I'm the FAP attorney. I am a family law divorce attorney licensed in the state of Florida and New York, and I've been doing this a long time. And I think a lot of things men don't know, and I wish my male clients would know, is that in the state of Florida, if you have a child with a woman and you are unmarried to that woman, and even if you're on the birth certificate, mom has 100% time sharing, 100% legal decision making until dad asserts his rights in family court. Now, the reason the law is that way is actually in part to protect men. So they don't want random women be able to say, so-and-so is the father of my child, and then responsibilities attach. So the legislators know and the hospitals know who the child came from, the body. So 100% mom is for sure the mother of that child, the biological mother. Who the father is a horse of a different color. And it's up to dad, if you're in a relationship, whether you guys are still together or you guys are simply just co-parenting, it's up to dad to activate his rights by filing a case in family court. If you and mom are on good terms, are still in a relationship, my suggestion would be to have a time sharing agreement that you guys agree to, drafted up by a lawyer. It's almost like a custody prenup, right? You guys put it in a drawer. You only use it if you guys should break up or disagree. That outlines time sharing. It outlines parental responsibility. It outlines who's responsible for paying for what. This way, your life does not look like a country song, the sad kind, okay? And if you're already in a relationship and there's a lot of breaking up and making up, and there's already has been threats of, well, you're never going to see your child again, or these types of statements are being thrown out there, well, the writing is on the wall. The writing is on the wall, gentlemen. So at that point, you need to lawyer up. You need to file for a time-sharing agreement, a parenting plan, and yes, child support will be determined based on each party's net worth and how many overnight visits, as well as allowable deductions. But I don't want you guys to be intimidated by the process. The cheap becomes expensive. The cheap becomes expensive. So what do I mean by that? If you wait till there is an issue and the relationship is not in a good place, it's going to be an uphill battle. And the child most likely is going to suffer because most likely you're not going to have the same level of access to the child. It can take years, in extreme cases, for a case to come to finality through a trial. Typically, it's a year and a half, but it can take longer. And you want to position yourself to always have legal rights to your child. Be able to make decisions when it comes to medical, being able to make decisions when it comes to education, being able to make decisions when it comes to extracurricular activities. So if you're a father and you and the co-parent are in a good space and everything's great, this is the perfect time to actually get those terms in an agreement that protect you. And I'm going to kind of do multiple videos on the ways in which it protects you to have this agreement. Something that I do see a lot of, and I'll do a separate video, is if there hasn't been a case filed and mom decides to leave the state, she doesn't need your permission. She can move to a different country. She can move to a different state. Only thing that would prevent her from doing so is if you've already filed a case, activated your rights, and the relocation statute attaches, and she is no longer, upon filing, and she is no longer able to move to more than 49 miles from where she currently lives without your written consent or a court order permitting her to do so. So There's lots of reasons, gentlemen, and a lot of times men do not know the law. They think that if they're on the birth certificate, or even if they have a Department of Revenue child support case, that they have activated their time sharing and their legal rights to parent. You have not. And it's when I speak to the gentlemen and have the consultations in my clients, it is your responsibility, men, if you create a life with a woman, that you make sure that you are on equal footing with her in order to have time sharing and in order to have decision making with respect to your child. The only way to do so is through the legal process. And what I have seen is that sometimes things are great for years. There's no agreement for years. And then mom falls in love, decides she wants to move to Columbia, she wants to move to Boston, and leaves. Or gets into a new relationship and things change. So I strongly suggest that while things are good between you and mom, and there is a verbal time sharing agreement, that you definitely get everything in writing, because if your child is that important to you, you have to activate your rights as a father. And in the state of Florida, in order to do so, you have to file a case and sue to have time sharing that you are entitled to, have decision making that you would be entitled to, and also making sure that your child stays within 49 miles of where they presently live. That is on you. So I encourage you to make sure you are being responsible. Don't let the cheat become expensive, because when you come to me and the child's in Boston, and you come to me and the child is in Miami and you're in Jacksonville, when you come to me and all of a sudden you go from 50-50 or seeing your child every weekend to seeing them not at all, you are up a creek without a paddle, legally speaking. You have to activate your rights, gentlemen, and do so when things are good. And if you see that their writing is on the wall, certain threats have been made. Where there's smoke, there's fire. So I would encourage you strongly, from the things that I have seen a lot, to make sure that you as a father have legal rights to your child, that you have time sharing with your child, that no one can interrupt, and that you are entitled to. Now, this does not apply to married folk. Married folk have different set of rules, and I'll do a video on that. Have a fabulous day.